so we wanted to just take a minute to ground ourselves in thinking about a few ideas as we get started. And one is where we are, another is who we are, and then we'll get into why we're here and some of those expectations that we know that you're all thinking about with the LMS before we get into the what and the how. So first, literally, where are we? We want to just take a moment to acknowledge that Edmonds School District is on the traditional homelands of the Duwamish, Skokomish, Snohomish, Snoqualmie, and Suquamish and other Coast Salish tribes. And these tribes granted the use of this land to the U.S. via the Point Elliott Treaty of 1855 while retaining their rights. So just taking a second to ground ourselves in that reality. And then also we want to take a minute to just acknowledge where we are just in terms of our context right now. So we are in the middle of a pandemic, lots of national unrest for a variety of reasons. We just experienced some spring emergency closures that were pretty tough, and you all really persevered in making it through that time and making it as good as it could be for our students and families. We have known now for a little bit that we have a fully remote start to our school year, which means a lot of new needs for us and also for our students and families, and new tools that we're going to be using. So we just want to put that out there, that we understand that even with all of these things going on, they may look different for each of you based on your individual context. And it is totally natural that we're experiencing a lot of different emotions right now. This creates a lot of uncertainty. It creates a lot of anxiety. And we're going to try to share with you some about this new LMS that you're going to be using, Canvas, in a way that tries to account for some of that and also then provide subsequent supports to you to really help you have this be something that is a little bit less uncertain, hopefully, by the time that you leave this session today. In terms of who we are, literally, I'm Lauren. I'm the manager of libraries and instructional technology. And these 5 lovely faces up on your screen right now are our instructional technology coaches for elementary this year. Kelly's on leave through the month of November, and other coaches are covering for her schools during this time. So you'll see today in our session, James, Jason, and Rose will all be leading different parts of it, and Brian is leading the seesaw session. And also in terms of who we are, we want to start with some shared values, and I'm going to use these to help you in exploring some of our different, the different components of the expectations around LMS usage. And I'll explain more about what I mean by LMS in a second. So first, we know that as educators, as teachers, all of us, that we have a real shared value of learning and growth, and that this is going to really push us forward during this time when there is uncertainty, that we do want to keep on growing together. And we also have a shared value of access. Access is one huge component of the equity work that we're doing on the behalf of our students and our families. And we know, and I'll explain a little bit more, that some of the tools that we were using in the spring didn't really get them that access. We're also really sharing a value of consistency. Again, some of the feedback that we received was really around the lack of consistency in some of the platforms that we were using and the ways that we were using them in the spring. And so in thinking about that value of learning and growth, we are growing by what we're learning, what we have learned from our experiences in the spring. And not only that, I want you all to know that although Canvas is a new LMS for most of you, it's not a new LMS for our district. We have been using Canvas at the 7th through 12th grade level for the past 4+ years. And we have learned a lot in that time about what works well for our students and our families that's informing these different pieces that I'm about to share with you about some of these expectations for use. And lastly, this is kind of our hashtag right now, progress, not perfection. I want you all, as we're starting this, to be keeping this in mind, that this is about making progress. We are not going to be perfect at using the LMS. We do want to be competent at using it, and we'll help you get some of those key pieces that are going to be able to help you get started today in our session. So we're looking to make progress, and we're going to be moving forward together step by step. You don't have to know everything there is to know about Canvas right away. So some of you may have been hearing this phrase learning management system and thinking, I'm not really sure what that means. Or you might see the acronym LMS and think, is that the librarian acronym? So a learning management system is what LMS is usually standing for right now. And what a learning management system is a home base for students. So this is the place where it's the hub of all the other things. It's where all the learning starts. It is a one-stop shop where you as teachers can provide students and families with course information and weekly, daily schedules. So they'll know I can go to this one place and I can find the schedule for the week. I can also find the schedule for today. You can share lessons and instructional supplemental content. So again, families will know this is the place that I go in order to find all of the content for my students' courses. This is where I go to find all of the assignments, and this is where my student submits assignments. This is where they see what feedback that you have provided to them. They find the links to Zoom meetings here, and you can message students and families also through Canvas as well. So this is just what the learning management system is, and Canvas is all of these things. So when we're thinking about Canvas, we're going to go back now to those values. So we talked about access. We know that some of the tools that we were using, like we had a lot of feedback from parents, for example, on Google Classroom, that they didn't really have access to what their students were doing in classes. And you all know, if you've used Classroom before, for example, that you had to create a new course for yourself. You would have to then give students a join code. They would have to join the class. If you wanted to add parents, you had to add them one by one and weren't able to add, parents couldn't just be a part. They would have to be added to every single class, every single year. So all of those things are no longer going to be the case with Canvas. And I hope that you are now saying, yay, that's really exciting. So with Canvas, everyone will be able to log in from the Edmonds Bookmarks toolbar. When they click on Canvas there, they will be taken to a page. And after we have rostered students, once your schools have students in your courses in Skyward, those will actually sync to Canvas. So at this point, some of you may already, when you log into Canvas, see some of your classes there. And just to share a little bit on that piece, your schools will be creating classes for you, and they will be assigning teachers to those classes. If no teacher is assigned to a class, it won't sync over yet. So ultimately, this is all going to work out in the next couple of weeks, but depending on where your school is at in terms of scheduling classes, assigning teachers, and then in adding students, it may mean that you don't see classes there yet, and that's all right. So don't worry too much if you log in and you don't see your classes. So all classes will be created and synced by Skyward, and there is rostering that occurs every single night. So what that means is you can see on my screen here that you'll see in a little bit in Canvas, we'll talk about the course navigation menu. And one of the things in the course navigation is People tab. And in People, I can see a list of the various people who are part of this class. Most of the time for you, you're going to see that they're in the student role. And then you also might see that there is an observer down here, and that would be like a parent observing a student. We'll talk more about that in a second. So what happens with Canvas is that every night, any changes in Skyward get rostered over into Canvas. So your courses will continue to be up to date on a daily basis with any students that are added or any students who might leave your class. And for family access, this is going to be really great. So from that same sign-in page that I showed you before, which is, by the way, our Edmonds sign-in page, not just, there are many institutions that use Canvas, and when we sign in, we have to use the Edmonds specific one that I mentioned you'll find in the Edmonds bookmarks folder in Chrome. So as you can see here, this arrow that I brought up points out this part where it says parent of a Canvas user, click here for an account. So families now can set up their own account for Canvas, and once they do, they become an observer. So they can't do anything in the class other than see what's happening. They can observe what you're assigning, what you're communicating. They can see the kinds of things that I'll show you in a second when we talk about consistency of how we're going to be using this. And once families have an account, they can actually go into their account settings. They can change the language. So if I would prefer to see Canvas in Spanish, I can go and change my language to Spanish, and I will see everything pretty much that's in Canvas in that language. They can also change the notifications. So if they want to receive more notifications, they can, and they can determine what they receive and how frequently. But they can also say, I don't need to receive all of these notifications. They can go in and, again, control the frequency and amount of those that they receive. So another value that we talked about was consistency. And this is a piece that's really going to not just help our families, but I'll also point out how it will help us as collaborators with each other. So I'm showing a screenshot right now of a course homepage, and this is included in the course template that we have spent a lot of time working with teachers this summer to develop. And so the template includes this kind of a homepage, and you can see that there are a variety of big colorful buttons on the homepage that students will be able to click on. You'll be able to link these buttons. We'll show you how to link images and link some other things in our session today. You'll link these to specific parts of the course so that it's really easy for students to just, as soon as they log in and they see that, click on your course and see the homepage, they will be able to get to this content. There will also be settings that are already set up for you. You don't have to really mess around with the navigation bar for your course. And so again, I hope you're thinking, yay, this is a lot of things that I don't have to do, because a lot of people have spent time thinking about this over the summer, and teachers have spent time in some focus groups with us, really giving us feedback on how to make this the best experience possible for you. And this is also, I wrote up here, going to contribute to how we are able to help parents and students receive some training in how to use these tools. So parent and student tutorials are going to set expectations for what people will see. And we can say all 3rd through 6th grade homeroom classes will look basically like this when you join them. And so parents, if they have a 3rd grader and a 6th grader, they'll see something and experience something very similar. Also, the course template includes an organizational system. And the screenshot I have up here, actually, I should update, because we did update this such that the first week is September 9th through 11th. I wanted to point out a few things here about how you're going to be expected to be organizing your course. We're going to be introducing you to some terms today in Canvas, like a module. And what I'm showing you right now is a module. This is how you organize content in the way that you want your students and families to see it. So for example, each module is going to cover 1 week chronologically. And that will allow you to easily link this week's activities from the homepage to this module. And within that module, there will be a week 1 overview. So your families will know every week, I can just go into this week's activities and find that module and find the overview for the week. Similarly, the daycare providers of students, if students are not at home, will be able to look with their students and know, I can go in and see this week 1 overview right here and know how to lead the students. And there will also be daily schedules that are provided in here for you. So we'll talk more about this content. In terms of consistency for some benefits for you all of the assignments are going to be in this one place. So you'll be organizing things all here within modules, and this provides a lot of team collaboration opportunities because anything that you create in Canvas, you can share. So if I create an assignment and Rose is one of my teaching partners and she wants to use that assignment, I can send that to her, and there are a variety of ways that we'll show you along the way, not today, but along the way, how to share some of that content with each other. So now that we've talked about some of those expectations and given you a little bit of context for what's happening today, we want to go into the what and the how. And so the way that we're going to do that, just to prepare you a little bit, is Rose is going to start out by giving you a brief overview in Canvas of kind of some of the different pieces and showing you how to import that template that I talked about. And then we'll shift into some more specific hows related to some of the different pieces that you're going to learn how to use, like a page and an assignment, for instance, and using those modules. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Rose.
Thank you, Lauren. Welcome. It's so great to see all of you here, and thank you. I want to acknowledge that you're going to be learning a lot of new vocabulary and new ways of thinking about continuous learning. And we're looking at Canvas, and there is no perfect learning management system. Canvas has some idiosyncrasies, but when you get those, then you will have it, and it'll all make sense. It can do everything and more than Google Classroom can do. You'll see a lot of similarities, and same with Seesaw. I am going to take you through getting this home page. I aim for a Goldilocks style, not too fast, not too slow. But if you do get lost, if you do, like if it's going too fast, then just take a deep breath, because much of what I'm going over will be repeated, and so you will be able to find your place again. So I am going to start by showing, I'm going to share my screen and show you how to get into Canvas. And let's see. All right, so let me just start right here with a blank page. To get into Canvas, you are going to go, and this is for both you and your students. You'll go to Edmonds Bookmarks, and then there is Canvas right here. And that opens up to the Edmonds Canvas. You'll know you're in the Edmonds Canvas if you see this red page and the panda. It has a unique URL, and you'll see the Edmonds 15 here. If you are unable to get into Canvas, your password isn't working, your username isn't working, it might be a couple of things. One, if you did not reset your password recently and it's expired, that may be a problem. If so, just hang tight and watch what we're doing, and that can be, you can get that password reset through the help desk or by going to a building in the Edmonds School District. The other thing is making sure that you have your username. Now, my email popped up because that's what I have to use to log in, but you will use your username. So the first part of your email address before the @ symbol, and that is what students do as well. If you're a new employee, make sure you have those numbers there. Then your password is the password that you use to log into your computer. If it doesn't work the first time, it may be a keystroke error. So delete everything and re-enter it and see if that works. If it still doesn't work after a couple of tries, then it is probably that password needs to be reset, and that would be a help desk issue. So once you're there, you've got your username, password, you're going to log in, and again, I have to log in with my full email address. And when you log in, your landing place is your dashboard. So this has all of the courses or classes, those same thing. So as you can see, I have a lot of courses here, a lot of classes because I've been using it for quite some time. So when each one of your courses or classes has a card, and so all of these cards will be here, and this is the same thing that students see. Over here on the left-hand side, you have your account navigation. So there's a navigation for your course or your class, and then there's account navigation. So right here where it has account, you can click right there, and it has some different settings, like your notifications. In the asynchronous self-paced course that we have for you, you will learn more about setting those navigations, which I'm going to take a pause right here and just say, because I don't think I said this, you're going to have to stay until the very end to get that exit ticket that will collect your email address. And from that, I'll be able to enroll you in the self-paced asynchronous course that will take you through everything we are going through this morning and more. We'll also have at the end a clock hour form for you, and so all of that will be at the end when we have a few minutes to do that. So going back to your account, you've got your notifications, and like I said, that information is also, you'll learn more about that in the this asynchronous Canvas course that is self-paced. You can set your profile, add your pronouns right there. Here are account settings, and if you click right here, you will see everything to do with your account, not the particular course, that is separate. So then going back to the dashboard right here, you also have all of your courses. There's a calendar, and then there is an inbox right here. This inbox on the homepage template, the contact the teacher is connected to this inbox, and this inbox is where both families and students can contact you, and family members as observers, which Lauren talked about, getting that observer account, can see the emails that their student has in there. Then there is the Commons and Help. This help section is my go-to place. If you are lost, click here. You can search the Canvas guides by a question and go through that. There are several different places to get the help. So to get the template, you will go to the Commons right here, and so that opens up. And the Commons is a collection of all sorts of templates, modules, courses that people share. And you can filter that by right here, clicking this filter, and you can see that you can filter by courses, grade level, all of that. So to find the elementary template, you are going to search right here, and you can put in, you can see that I have done this several times, ESD, and then you need to put a space, 2020. So ESD 2020, and then press enter, and the Edmonds School District templates will then pop up. And the elementary template is right here. You'll know you have the right one if you see these books with the apples. So to download it and to put it into your course, because let me just take you over here to your course. Your course on your dashboard should be, from what I've seen, unpublished. And so I have a grade 4 one yearly, and I'm going to open that up. And you can see it does not look very cute or inviting or friendly. So we're going to put the homepage template in there, which will give you a homepage with buttons and modules, which are like those containers for each week that you will add in there. So going back to that Commons and getting that template, I'm going to search again, ESD space 2020. So to add that template into that brand new course, you will click this import download button. Then it wants to know where you want to put it. And so I am putting this in that grade 4 course. I want to caution you not to click all, because then it will put it into everything, and you don't want it. You want to pick the course that it goes into. So grade 4, and then here's one of these idiosyncrasies with Canvas. You need to scroll down to the bottom and import it into that course. You'll know you've done everything correctly if you see this green banner. You've started the import, and it does take a little bit to do that. So going back to the dashboard. So again, the dashboard is the landing place. You can see right here that that course still hasn't loaded with the template because I don't see the apples there. Once it does, you can click publish, and then it will be up in the published courses right here, and it will look like this. And you can then see what we are going through with this, with the entire template. So I'm going to open this up because this is what we have to work with. So once you get to your home page, this is your course navigation right over here on the left. And James is going to go over more of that. The first thing that you can do is you're going to edit this page to add your name and grade level. So this is one of those idiosyncrasies with Canvas. You need to click that edit button. And then the rich content editor pops up, which is this text box right here. And to make it bigger so that you can actually see what's going on in there, you can go to these 8 dots over here and just drag that down. Then to edit it, you're just going to delete this and then put your name and grade level. So today I'm teaching grade 4. Then to save that, and that's again another idiosyncrasy with Canvas, you have to save everything, and if you don't save it, it will probably go away. So make sure you scroll down and click that Save button. Now here on this homepage template, I just want to walk you through a couple of things. This Contact the Teacher button is already linked to your inbox. So when people click that, it will go right to the inbox, and so then they'll be able to contact you there. This Zoom meeting link is linked to a page in the modules. So over here, you'll see the modules. So everything on the home page is linked to these modules here. So there is a page right here for your Zoom meeting link, information about this class. And then these are each modules, which James will be going over more about those. To add any content to your modules, you'll be clicking on it and then editing. So the other thing that I want to point out here in this template is there's a section here on helpful how-tos for the course template. You're not going to publish this, so any of the modules can be published where students can see it, and James will show you that student view and how you can look in that to see what students can see. So this has more information about getting help, the different kinds of assignments, how to insert another button or banner. And I'm going to show you, like if you're a 5th or 6th grade teacher, then you will how to put in a band or orchestra button. There's another section here on organization. So you can take a look here, and there's some information about naming conventions. And you want to think about that because it will make things easier to find, because you're going to take all the content in these modules and link it to your home page. So to find it easily, those naming conventions should be considered. So I'm going back home, and this is one thing I teach students as well. Go back home. If you're feeling lost, go home. So this Zoom meeting button is linked to that, and then this week's activities is linked to a page that has this, would be linked to this page that has this week 1 overview. So each of these modules has, and it's for the first half of the year, the week, an overview, the days of the week. Let me show you one right here. Days of the week, which these are the headers, and then a schedule. And then, as Lauren said, a page that says stop, done for the day, so that if kids are navigating through the buttons, then they will know when to stop. All right, going back to the home page, I'm going to show you how to add a button. So if you are a 5th or 6th grade teacher and you need to add a button for band or orchestra, I want you to know that all of the banners and buttons that are in this template are right here in files. So they're already in the course files. So I took those banners and buttons and organized them into folders, so they're easy to find. So going back to the home page, so that's where those images live. I'm going to click edit, because to change anything in Canvas, you need to click edit. Going back to that rich content editor or that text box, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And then right here under specialists, I want to add a band button. So to do that, I am going to find an image. And so this icon right up here with the image, it's a course image, because all of the buttons and banners are in this home template. And then I'm going to do it by alphabetical so that I can find band, and there it is. So I'm going to click that, and it inserted it right there. Now it is a lot bigger than the other ones. So to resize it, you're going to go to Image Options. And the alt text does say that it's a band image, so that if somebody is using a screen reader. And then I did all of the buttons. Oh, let's see. Here's, just so you know, here's edit, undo. All right. That's really important to know. You can also do Control-Z. So the size of these buttons are 130 by 130. So done right there. Now to link this to the dashboard, because we want students to go back to the dashboard to find their other classes, to find their library template, music, PE. So then I am going to remove any links there so I can show you. Now I'm going to add a link, and I'm going to go back to the dashboard. If I do that, so right now I'm going to save this, because remember, if you don't save it, it's going to go away. So the dashboard has a unique URL, and I'm going to copy that and then go back to my course and click that edit button again, and then link that to the dashboard. So click on that, add the link. It is going to be an external link, and paste it in there. And Jason's going to show you more about linking other things as well. So then I'm going to click save. And then that link will then go directly to the dashboard, just like that. So the other things on this page are digital resources. These all link to Clever, where these resources are. There's also these optional activities for you to link things to, and then there's tech help for students and families down here that are already linked to those. So now I am going to pass you over to James, and he is going to go into some more details with modules.
Thanks, Rose. Yeah, so just want to remind everyone, we're looking at the elementary template. We're looking at our demo course. Remember, this is the template you're going to import into your course. So Rose, do you want to stop sharing and then I'll share?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to spend this time talking about modules and then a tool within modules that you can use, and I'll wrap up my portion talking about the Canvas course settings that Rose briefly talked about on the side here. Okay, so I'm starting at the home page again. That's a great place to start, as Rose said, and we're going to take a look at modules. So I'll just click on modules to get there. And while it's loading, I'll just kind of maybe frame this learning. You can think of modules like a filing cabinet for your course content. So basically, you as the teacher will put pages or assignments or other resources into a module. It's like you're filling up a filing cabinet with filing folders. And in your course with your students, pretty much everything they do is going to start out in modules. So your students will most often, they'll probably go to the Canvas homepage. They might click a link that you've put on the homepage, but that link is almost always probably going to take them to the modules section. So it's going to be really important for you and your students. All right, so here we are on modules, and as Rose said before, there's already, after you import this into your Canvas course, the elementary template, you will have a lot of content already in modules. So in here we have, as Rose said, some directions, and we have information here where you can add things like about this class, and later you'll get to add Zoom links. I'm going to focus on this week 1 module. So when you import a module, you'll notice it's going to have things like the week 1 overview, and then it will have a date like September 9th Wednesday schedule, and then stop and done for the day. These are all pages. If I hover over this, you can see the type of content this is a page. And one thing I want to say right here, just like on the homepage template, where we're looking for consistency across the districts, consistency for families with students in different grade levels. we're also looking for consistency within our modules. So any content that is in your module, we would ask you to just leave it in there. We've designed it getting input from a lot of teachers and families, and the hope is it's really clear as you teach students how to move through Canvas. However, you are able to add content to your modules, so I want to make sure that you know how to do that as well. All right, so in order to add content to a module, you'll notice this module here has some other things that I haven't talked about yet. But the way to add content really is if you just go to the module title next to the little plus sign. So if you click that plus, you can see Canvas right away thinks, okay, you want to add an assignment. An assignment is one type of thing that you can add to a module. So when you're if you were going to add an assignment, and I'm just going to briefly cover this, Jason's going to go into more detail. So don't worry if you are left wondering, okay, what can I do in an assignment? But if you're going to add an assignment, Canvas actually remembers previous assignments in this course. So if you built something and used it before and you wanted to use it again, you simply click on that assignment and add it. Another option that you have is to create a new assignment or add a new assignment. So if you click new assignment, then you can you could type an assignment name and click add. Other things that you can add, another thing that you can add is pages. So just like assignments, previously built pages will show up underneath underneath the new page. So if you wanted to add one of those, you could click add item, or you have the ability to add a new page. And in addition to assignments and pages, you'll see there are lots of other things you can add. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about these other things right now, but remember, you're going to be enrolled in our asynchronous course where you're going to practice using Canvas more as a student, and you will learn what these other things are and how to use them. So don't worry. One thing I do want to show you is when you go ahead and add anything, so I'm adding a page in this case, anything you add to your module, it actually is going to fall, it just goes to the bottom of the module. That's just one thing that Canvas does. So fortunately, there's an easy way that you can rearrange things. If you simply grab at this array on the left side, the 8-dot array, if you grab that and drag, you can actually move content to another spot in your module. And then there's 3 dots over here if you need to make any other changes, like removing something from a module. All right, so I want to talk a little bit more about pages. You'll see a lot of the content we have is pages. One reason pages are so great is because, and this may have been said earlier, pages actually are able to be viewed by like families if they're observing students in your course. So, and a great thing about that is if a family is viewing, like if their browser is translating content into another language, the Canvas page will actually translate for them automatically. So that's a really great reason. Like if later when you're creating an About Me page, as you create that in Canvas, share it out, families will be able to see that page, learn about you, and it'll actually get translated into another language if they have their browser set to translate content. And another reason pages are great is there's a resource called Immersive Reader, a tool, and I'll show you a bit more about Immersive Reader. It's a tool that students can use on pages, and you could use it as a teacher as well to demonstrate. I'll come right back to Immersive Reader. One thing I want to show you is publishing content and modules. So you'll notice there's some green check marks along the side for most of these items. Some of them are not checked. These check marks are, it's called, it makes content published or unpublished in a module. And what that means is this item viewable by students in my class? So right now, this module is published and all of these items are published. That means the students can see it. One thing to check, often if students can't see content in your course, usually it means the module is not published. So if you're ready, if you're ready for students to be able to work through something, you want to double check, look at the module title, and make sure that is published. As you add content, oh, and when I publish a module, actually you'll notice it publishes everything. So if all of these resources were ready for students to view, great, they can see them now. If anything wasn't ready, I could simply click on the green check mark to unpublish it. So if you want to double check, often we hear staff asking, how do I know what my students are seeing? Canvas has that built in. So if you click back to the home page, after you've published content in your modules, you'll notice on the right side there's an option for student view. This is really useful just to make sure that students can see your content. So you'll notice the course navigation changed a little. I'm going to go back to modules to show you what it looks like to a student view now. You'll notice in this view now as a student, a practice student in Canvas, I can't see all of the directions to teachers. All I see are the teacher information module and the week 1 module because that's published. And you'll notice here under Wednesday, the poem that I unpublished, it's not viewable by students. It's something that a teacher may still be working on and they're not quite ready for students to see it yet. So if everything looks good in your student view, you can simply click Leave Student View here at the bottom to return to the teacher view. Okay, so quickly I just want to show, while this is loading, what Immersive Reader looks like. So before I mentioned Immersive Reader works on, remember, it works on pages, and it'll work in the teacher view or the student view. In this case, I'm looking at it through the teacher view. So up here at the right, you'll notice there's this tool, Immersive Reader. And basically, when you click on that, it's going to change what the page looks like. And there are a lot of options in Immersive Reader. I won't go through them all, but remember that's something you'll get to see in the asynchronous course as well. So great thing about Immersive Reader is it will actually read the page to you or your students. So at the very bottom, they can click play. Probably don't hear anything, maybe you do, but it will read the page. In addition to that, if you click on individual words, it will play that word for a student. And then you have a lot of other features. If I click on text preferences, you'll notice you can increase the spacing, you can change contrast, you can adjust text size. Immersive Reader also has some grammar options. If you would like your students to see the syllables of words, you can toggle that on, or you can toggle on any of these for parts of speech. Also, there are reading preferences. So there's some masking here from 1 line up to 5 lines of focus. There's a picture dictionary that's turned on. So if I click on a word, you'll notice it tries to define the word with a picture. And one really amazing thing is you'll notice this is in Spanish. I wanted to demonstrate how Immersive Reader can translate a word. So here you see, or it can translate an entire document. So those are some of the great features of Immersive Reader. Immersive Reader works on pages. And remember, to learn more, you can go to the asynchronous course. To leave Immersive Reader, you can just click exit on the left here. All right, so the last thing I want to show before I turn it over to Jason is the course navigation. So I think the reason this could be useful is as students start to use Canvas, you may want to limit the course navigation a little bit more. At the very beginning, course, your students will only see home modules, announcements, grades, and send on remind. We have set up the elementary template so it limits what students see. You'll notice as a teacher, I'm seeing all these other menus, but here to the right, it tells me this is disabled, not visible to students. Let me show you how you can rearrange content on the course navigation menu. So first, you want to click settings, and then you want to actually move to navigation. So as you're getting ready and preparing to teach students how to use Canvas, you may want to limit what they see. Like if you don't want grades to show up at first, or you don't want send on remind to show up at first, if you move those down below this fold and then click save, you will notice now there's only these 3 menus would show up for students in this class. So this is a way that you can simplify navigation and make it easier for students in your course as you start. So that's it. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jason. He's going to go into a little bit more detail about some other content in our demo course.
Awesome. Thank you, James, and thank you, Rose and Lauren. We're going to dive into looking a little more at pages and at assignments right now. And I just want to say good morning. We've got a big crowd here today. It's super weird because we've got almost 360 people and I can't see any of you, and I miss that. But I'm so happy you're here with us and able to share this moment with everyone, even though I can't really see you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now, and we're going to walk a little bit through how to set links on a page, especially that home page, because that will likely be one of the first things that you'll want to get doing when you have when you're setting up this course. So here is our demo page, and I'm actually just going to go home, and so it gets mad at me because you saw that little prompt right there, and Rose and James both mentioned in Canvas it really is important that you click save. Without clicking save, any changes that you made will not take hold, and it usually gives you that little pop-up prompt like, are you sure you want to leave the page, your stuff won't be saved. Sometimes it doesn't. So it's just really important to get in the habit of making sure that you save. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to make links on our page. So as Rose stated, anything with Canvas, before you can start editing it, I mean, I can click around in here until the cows come home, and I won't be able to do anything until I click this edit button near the top, and then I can start editing away. And this will take a second to load up, but eventually I see the rich content editor, or if you're feeling super trendy, you can call it the RCE, appear right here. And this is where I know I can start making my edits. And I want to expand this a little bit. And then just so I have a little more room to operate. It only gives you a certain distance there, but then we're good. And the first thing that I'm going to want to do is link this button, this week's activities, to this week's activities. So the way I'm going to go about doing that, and we'll actually notice that this one is already linked, so we'll work a little bit backward here, but that'll be okay. So I've got this button and it's highlighted, and we see that we've got the blue handles around it, so I know that is what's going on. Now, to work with links, there's this little chain link icon kind of in the middle top of our menu up here. And the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and remove this link. And this is also something that you'll be doing each week as you change the links from the current week to the next week. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And what that effectively means is now this button's linked to nothing. So I'm going to come back and click on that chain link again. And since we're going to be linking it to other places in the course, I click Course Links. And what that'll do is bust open this menu where I have all of these options that I can link this to. I can link it to any page or assignment, but since it's all of this week's activities, I want to link it to this week's module. So I'm going to expand that module drop down, and the wheel slowly spins here, but hey, look, there it is. So we've got week 1, September 7th to 11th, and this is what we want to link. So all I did was click on that, and now this is linked, and if students will click that, it will take them to the module of the activities for this week. Now, scrolling a little farther down, we've got each day of the week that can be linked, starting with Monday. So let's go ahead and click on the Monday button. And right now this is linked to nothing, but we can link it to Monday's activities. So I'm going to click on this chain link again. And again, I'm going to select course links because that means it's going to connect it to content within this course. This time though, instead of linking it to an entire module, I'm going to link it to pages. Now there's already a page built for like every day of the first semester. So this is going to open up a pretty overwhelming list that's in alphabetical order, but we just kind of scroll down and we're going to load more because we're looking for September. I guess it's not perfectly alphabetical, is it? Never mind, I take that back. September's on the bottom, that's the point. And then we land on September 7th, it's the Monday schedule. I click on that, and now that button will link me to Monday. And I can repeat this process for Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. Now, the calendar turns, right? So next week, I'm going to want that link to September 14th. So that would just involve coming here and removing the link, and then linking again to course links, and then finding September 14th with the same process. After you link any of these, it is absolutely essential to scroll to the very bottom and click save. We hope that when you navigate away, there'd be a pop-up, but like I said, it seems to be kind of inconsistent. So just make sure you're scrolling to the bottom, clicking save, or those changes will not hold. And all that work you did to link things up, it will be gone. So do make sure that you're always clicking save whenever you make a change on anything in Canvas, so those changes hold. That's super important. So what we just did there was make links on a page. And before I dive any further into other topics, pages, assignments, I do want to take just a second and really distinguish the difference between a page and an assignment. So what we're looking at here, this template, this is what's called a page. And a page operates more like a web page. So the page will have links in it. You may have information for the students. You can add video content. You can add audio recordings. You can add text, all of that stuff. And what that does is just get that information out to your students. The difference between a page that can do all that and an assignment is that an assignment can do everything that a page can do, but also it allows the kids to do work, complete that work, and turn it in. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit from talking about pages and then going to talking about assignments. So I'm going to go into my modules, and I'm going to create an assignment for my kids to do on the first week. And we're just going to kind of walk through what are some of the different things that you can put in an assignment. So let's go ahead and scroll to this week. And to add an assignment, I look at the title of the module. In this case, we've got week 1. And then I come over to the right and I find this plus sign. And then I click that. And by default, the first thing that it will suggest that I create here is an assignment. And then I look here down below, and I can link any of these assignments and put them in the module. But for this, I want to just create a brand new assignment. So I click where it says new assignment. And then I need to name the assignment. So super assignment number 3. And then we have this option to indent or not indent. And what that actually means is when students are looking at the modules, they can all be lined up just in a straight line on the left side, or like the assignments can be indented 1 level. So I'm going to go ahead and indent it 1 level just so you can kind of see what that looks like. And then we click add the item. Now this is something that's kind of funny. When you add your assignment or page or whatever it is that you're adding, it always drops that down on the bottom. So I'm going to go and scroll down, and I see there it is, super assignment number 3. And just kind of notice that like this one, the best assignment ever, is not indented, and this one is. So it's just kind of an organizational structure that might help some students. Now, this super assignment number 3, I don't want that to be a Friday assignment. I want that to be a Monday assignment. So I'm going to click and drag it up, and they always land on the bottom, always, always. I'm going to drag it up so that it's, oh, and somebody changed this so it starts on Wednesday, which is good because that's when we actually start. I'm going to put it under Wednesday now, and I click on the assignment title to begin editing it. This will land me here, but we still don't have any content because now we need to click on the edit pencil and start really putting stuff in. So when this loads up, what we're going to see is on the top, we have the Rich Content Editor, or RCE, just like we did on the page. Something that was, it took me a while to wrap my brain around this aspect of Canvas. The RCE, or the Rich Content Editor, is not where students are going to be inserting their answers. Like, I would not put something like, blank was the first president, because students are only going to see this. It's a way to deliver information. It's not where the students are actually answering the question. So what we're doing here is we're just putting directions, information, instructions, links, whatever you think you need or your students will need to complete the assignment. So we're going to more likely say something like, do your best, have some instructions, and then you do have the option to put in many, many other links and resources, and I'm going to walk you through how to do some of that right now. So one of the things that I think could be really useful is that you can insert your own links. So let's say that you wanted to link your students to be able to use the Desmos Scientific Calculator, which is a pretty slick free website. So I'm actually just going to type the text Desmos Scientific Calculator. And then I'm going to go ahead, and I've got this tab open already, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that and then copy this link and then bring it back. Just like I would on like a Google Doc or whatever, I can just highlight that, come to the chain link, click external links this time, because it's actually going to take us outside of Canvas, and then paste that link here, and then I click done. And when I come back, it's a little bit hard to see, but you see the text colors change to blue, so it looks more like a link. And if students click that link, it'll open up a new tab, and they'll be able to use that Desmos Scientific Calculator to complete their work. You're also able to add an image. So if we click on here, we can upload an image. And let's say we wanted to have the students find the, let's say we wanted to have the students see the Desmos logo. So let's go ahead, and the first thing that you'd actually have to do is make sure that your logo or picture or whatever it is saved on your computer, and this already is. I did this before, and so we're going to open it, and there that is. And then the alt text is really important to add, because what that does is it will allow people who are using a screen reader to be able to know what that image is, even if they can't see it. So I'll just call this Desmos logo. And then we can go ahead and click submit. Now, when this drops it in, it's going to be pretty big. And Rose showed you how to resize images earlier if you're like adding those buttons for band and orchestra, but you can just click on it and make sure that it's highlighted in blue, and then grab one of those handles and shrink it up a little bit. And then we have that nice image added to our page. And just like with word processing software, stuff like that, if we wanted it centered, say, we can get that centered on the page, or left justified or right justified. So there's ways that you can move that around. Now, another thing that's pretty slick is that you are able in Canvas to record video or audio directly into this platform. And I want to show you a little bit about how that works right now. So this link right here that has what looks kind of like the YouTube logo and the music note will let you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And then we can upload or record media. And this means that we can grab videos that maybe you already have stored on your computer or audio files and put them in here, or we can record right into Canvas, which is pretty slick. So to upload files, you do the same thing that I just showed you for the images, but to record, we click on this record button as the wheel spins here. It's getting us ready. Sometimes it's probably mad at me because I'm using the Zoom camera actually. Let me go ahead and turn off my Zoom camera. Stop video. And we'll go ahead and turn this back on. So right now we've got no video, but if I click on webcam, come on. Oh, I see. If I click on integrated camera, it helps to just do this right. Hey, there I am. And so we can click on this start recording button, and it gives us a countdown from 3, and then anything that I say is going to be recorded right now. So if I wanted to talk to my students about what the directions were, I could sit here and explain it and record myself. Then I can click finish and save. Always click save. And then it's going to drop that little video that I just recorded right onto my Canvas page that students would be able to click and play there. And boy, we're getting some spinny wheels, so thank you so much for your patience. But it's going to show up there, I absolutely promise. It's just going to take a little bit of time to process it. There we go. It's telling us what we already knew. The next thing that you can do is you can actually just record audio. So if you wanted to just say there I am. If you wanted to just read the directions aloud, you click on that again, and it's upload record media again, and record. And this part is a little weird. It's kind of counterintuitive because You would think that if you only wanted to record audio, you'd probably click on the mic, but that is not how this works. If you only want to record audio, you click on webcam and then select no video, which is probably what you remember is how it looked when we started. If I start recording, it's going to give me a countdown from 3 again, and then when the clock chimes 0 or whatever, it's going to start recording, and then I'm able to click finish. And I could have right there, recorded directions for my students, and it's going to put that audio clip right in there that they're able to click and play and listen to. There are a couple of other things that I think are good to know that you can add to your assignments to support your students in what they're doing. One of those things that you can add is YouTube videos. So if you found a video on YouTube, or you created and posted a video on YouTube and you want to share that with the kids, it's very helpful to go into YouTube first. So here's a YouTube video, and to click share, and that will give you this link. And so we're just going to copy that link, and then I'm going to travel back to Canvas. And the way you embed a YouTube video is you're using this little electrical plug icon, and you click it, and Canvas remembers now that I use Google Apps and YouTube a lot. When you first start out, you'll probably need to click View All, and you'll see all of the different things that you can embed here. One thing that's kind of funny is we've actually got 2 sliders right here, and the one on the right doesn't get us all to the bottom, and the one on the inside doesn't get us all the way to the bottom either. But once you do slide both of them down, you'll find YouTube. We click on that, you click on the title, and paste in your link, and then hit enter on your keyboard. And then here we have a YouTube video that we can embed into the Canvas assignment, if that would help your students complete it. And the last thing I really wanted to show you is that you can also, and you probably noticed this when I clicked on the outlet thing, but you can also embed Google Slideshows or Google Docs if you click on the plug and then Google Apps. And this will open up your Google Drive. There we go. And for all these presentations, I've been doing my kitten presentation because, why not? They're cute. And let's go ahead and click on that, click embed. And what will happen here, it might take a minute to process, but it's going to put my kitten presentation right on my Canvas assignment page. And students would be able to scroll through this thing and see what they need to do to complete this assignment. And frankly, looking at this, I would have no idea, but that is how you can embed a slideshow. So I'm going to go ahead and now scroll down, because all that I've just shown you are ways that you can get information, whether it be text or video or audio or images, to your students to help them complete the assignment. But none of those actually is the assignment. It's just like the information. It's just like the directions for how to complete it. So once you're all done adding things in the rich content editor, you scroll down below that, and here is where you actually start building your assignment, where the students will complete their work. You have an option to make the assignment worth however many points you would like. For this example, we'll just do 10. And a choice of how that's displayed. But for this, we'll just pick points. And then there's 4 different options for submission type. And by default, the one that shows first is always no submission at all. And the times that you might use a no submission assignment is if you wanted students to say, like, work on something on iReady, or you wanted students to complete an assignment within, say, the Amplify Science platform. So what you can do is make an assignment so that parents, families, kids, they all know that they're supposed to do this. And then, like, in the rich content editor, put a link in for iReady, or send them to Clever so they can go into Amplify. And then you would have it as no submission, because the students would actually be doing the work in those other platforms. So that's when you would use a no submission assignment. So the assignment will land on the student's calendar, but they wouldn't actually complete the thing in Canvas itself. But you'd probably want to put a link in there that they could do. The next option down is an online submission. And there's several different options for when students are submitting work online. The first one is the text entry option. And the text entry option is where students would actually be answering a question or a prompt in the Canvas system itself. And I do want to spend a second and just issue a word of warning about the text entry online assignment submissions. And that is to say that they do not save. They don't save. So if you're going to use the text entry, make sure that they're really, really short questions, like one word answers, where students wouldn't have to be like writing a ton of content and then submitting, forgetting to submit, and then all that work they did is gone because it doesn't save. So make sure that they're just short answers if we're doing that. A website or URL will just allow students to submit a web address as an answer. Media recordings will allow the students to answer questions with video or audio, like you saw me do earlier. And then file uploads, that assignment would allow students to upload like a Google Drive file that could go right to you, and then you'd be able to see that. So those are the examples of the online submissions. There's an option to have assignments just turned in on paper. And again, the reason for this, the reason why you would use an on-paper assignment is most likely when you'd have the kids actually back in your physical classroom, and you know, we're all hoping for that eventually. And it's an assignment where the kids really wouldn't be using computers to complete it, but by putting the assignment in Canvas, everybody knows, like, here's when it's due, here's what it is, so it's just getting that communication out. Some examples I can definitely think of using on-paper assignments for are like if you're collecting science lab notebooks, or you really want to check work on math problems, you would select this on-paper submission type. And then the last one is the external tool. And if you're used to using Google Classroom, this is about as close as it gets to sharing like the Google documents that students can work on. So when I do an external tool, I select that. And then the next thing I do is I click this Find button. And it's going to load all of the different external tools that I can put in the Canvas platform. But for the sake of this, I'm going to focus solely on the Google Docs Cloud assignment. And so we'll click on that. And what this will do is open up my Drive so that I can search for any Google Doc that I want. So let's see. I think we've got assignment for presentation, hopefully is in here. Oh, maybe it's document. Thanks for bearing with me. It is important to remember the title because there we go, because this is what we search for. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and then I click submit. And what this is going to do, it's very similar to Google Classroom when you put a Google Doc and share that with, and tell Google Classroom to make a copy for each student. That's what this is doing here. It's making a copy for each student. So I've got the URL in here, and when I click select, what that does is now each student in my course is going to have a copy of the Google document, and then they'll be able to complete it. You can select how many times students will be allowed to attempt the assignment. You can assign it to everyone in your course or a small group. You can put due dates and the availability. And then we're going to go ahead and click Save and Publish. Now this is super important again, and I just can't emphasize this enough. You don't click Save, everything's gone, and there's no getting it back, and it's really sad. So we're going to go ahead and Save and Publish though, because if we don't publish, even if you have it saved, the students will not be able to see it. Now that we have this assignment, we can look a little bit more about what it'll look like for kids. So we see all of that riffraff stuff that I put in just to demo. But then if I scroll down to the very bottom, I can see that I've got this document for presentation. The students are actually able to type right in here in Canvas. Or what's a little more convenient even is they can click on this link, document for presentation, and then it will open it up and they can work from here. And when they're all done, they'll be able to submit the work that they've done, and you'll be able to see it. Now, the last thing I'm going to show here real quick is what that will look like from your end after students have worked on the assignment. So in order to do this, I actually had to put this assignment in a different Canvas course. So I'm going to leave this for a moment and go back to my dashboard and just enter a different course here. So I put the same document in this other Canvas course because there actually are some fake students in this. And the assignment that I was just kind of playing with this morning is called Assignment for Spruce. If I've got any spruce peeps out here, hey, this one's for you. So you can see on this one, it says Dear Best. There is what the document will look like for kids. Keep scrolling like crazy. But now I want to grade and see what students have done. So I'm going to click in my speed grader. And so it's this icon that you'll look for to do the grading. And we have so far one student who's completed this assignment, and fake student, student 04. And if you click through this, you can see all the students that you have in your class, and you can also scroll through those students. But here we can see that this student wrote, "Yo, teach, what's happening?" And so I'm going to be able to assign this person a grade, and I can write a little comment. Much you know, whatever. And then you can even add an attachment of some other kind that will go to the kids, or you can record a video or audio response to their work. Up here in this navigation, you have all these tools that you can use to mark the paper up as you feel is appropriate, and get that back to the kids. And then when you're done, you can click submit, and then the students will see the grade that they got and any of the comments and whatever else that you decided to put on there to help the students with their learning. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now that student 04 would be able to see that work. So that was a lot, I know. Thanks so much for bearing with me. We talked about pages, we talked about links, we talked about how to put all of that information that you can get to students in assignments. We talked about how to actually make the assignment, and then how to find and grade them. So I really appreciate you bearing with me. I know it was a lot, and a great way to start your morning though, huh? And I'm going to hand this baton back over to Rose.
Thank you, Jason. Wherever you are in this new learning is a good place to be. We know this is a lot of information, and we do have an asynchronous course that's self-paced that goes over everything that we have showed you this morning. So right here, right now, you don't need to know everything there is to know about Canvas. You were part of this live session, so you know how to, you have an overview of many of the things that Canvas can do, and some terminology there to connect it to your learning that you did with Google Classroom or Seesaw in the spring. So I'm going to share my screen to show you what this asynchronous course looks like. That I'm going to give you an exit ticket so that you can enroll in it. My computer is just really laggy here, but here we go. So right here is the asynchronous course will look like this, and you'll after you fill out the exit ticket that we have for you, I'm going to collect all of those email addresses and then automatically enroll you into this course. So you can see right here that in the modules, it has everything that we have talked about. Getting started in this, you're going to learn about accessibility, about getting that homepage template. So if things weren't working for you, it's all here. I want to encourage you to go through this with a colleague or a friend that teaches the same grade level or grade band with you. It's more fun to do those things together. So right here is, I'm going to put this exit ticket in for you to self-assess yourself about how things went, and then make sure that you complete that so that we have your email address to enroll you into the course. So the other thing is office hours. We have office hours available this morning at 9:30. I know I was looking at the wrong date for the calendar when I initially put that in the chat. 9:30 to 10:30, and they're open office hours. There's no need to register for that. So that just come with your questions that you have. I am going to put in the chat too a link for the clock hours. And the clock hours, when you register for the clock hours on the PD portal, it says that you have 50 clock hours. The clock hours for this course are for the entire year. So that's why there are 50 clock hours. And don't worry, we keep track of the sessions that you've been in, the work that you do for the different courses. And so we're keeping track of all of those hours. So go ahead and register for the full amount, and then because there will be more training sessions during the year, and we're going to use the same clock hour form for it. There's always more to learn, so make sure that you are on the lookout there for any of the sessions that we have available. And that is, I think we're wrapping up here with all that we have for you. So, Lauren, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Rose. I just want to thank everybody for being here this morning, and just want to again confirm that we will be available for some office hours later on. So please join us and bring your questions with you to that. Do we need to go over again how to log into Canvas? Other panelists?
Certainly wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. It wouldn't hurt.
Let's do that real fast. I will share my screen here. And as soon as I've logged out of Canvas, we'll just close with this to make sure that you all will know how to access Canvas. Sorry about this. My computer is moving extremely slowly this morning. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen now, and I am on the login page, and I just want to show you again how to get here. So you can, and your students both, this is how you would show your students to get to Canvas. Go to Edmonds Bookmarks, click on the Canvas link. It takes you to our Edmonds Canvas. One of the most common errors that students or anyone have in logging in is that they're going to the wrong link. They may have gone to Google and just typed in Canvas, and there are many institutions and organizations that use Canvas, so you have to be using our specific Canvas link. You can see here that my username is just the first part of my email address. So again, another common error is maybe they've gotten to the right page, but they're typing in their entire email address instead of just the first part. Your password is the same password that you use to log into your laptop. And once you click log in, if you wait about 10 or 15 minutes, you will have access on your dashboard to the asynchronous course that we were discussing. And you may see that as just a tile that's on your dashboard here, or you may see a little announcement up at the top of your screen that tells you that you are able to join. That's an invitation kind of that you would click on to join the course. All right, so that is how you will get access. And I think that we will close with that this morning. So thank you all so much again for being here. We, again, will be taking this with you step by step, and make sure that you do fill out the form that James linked again here to get access to that course and to confirm your attendance this morning. All right, thanks everybody. Wishing you a wonderful first day.